Good to go, Erickson?
Yes, sir.
All right, FightHype.com. Sean Zittel here with one of the best 154 pounders in all of boxing, co-headlining one of the biggest cards and fights of the year. Charlo Canelo. He's taking on Jesus Ramos, undefeated fighter at 154 in the co-headliner. And Erickson, man, to get right to it, why will you be the better fighter 2 weeks from now against Jesus Ramos?
I feel like my experience, my skill set, I would win. I feel like just everything around the board. I just feel like the better fighter.
You came back and got a win, a stoppage over Luis Cuba Arias. Did you have to go get through that fight in that camp to know that you were still the same Erickson Lubin after the war with Fundora?
I mean, I already knew after the Fundora fight, I was still the same fighter. I don't feel like um my skills didn't diminish or my mindset didn't change. I just kept at it, man. I just kept going. Just I knew I was the same fighter. I just got hungry. I'm competitive. I don't when losing don't sit well with me. Don't sit well with me. So I definitely turned it up a notch, and it'll show on September 30th.
Yeah, just to take it back for a second, I know you're looking forward towards Jesus Ramos, but even in that Fundora fight, were you proud of the way you performed in defeat? Like just the heart you showed. I felt like there was no more amount of heart you could have possibly have given in that fight. And do you feel that way too, looking back on it?
Nah, I was supposed to walk away with the win. Then I would have been proud. I feel like you know, it was a back and forth matchup, and I didn't really follow the game plan. After he floored me in the second round, I got up like I gotta kill this motherfucker. I put it in my head. I gotta stop him. Um, there's a lot of things. I don't like to make no excuses. I ain't gonna make no excuses. He was the better man that night, I guess. But I feel like I should have just followed the game plan a little bit more, listen to my trainer, and not get caught up in and sitting there and just brawling with him because there's a lot more I could do. There's a lot more. You know, I got a better skill set than what I showed. I just sat there, ate punches, gave punches, and that's not what boxing is. Boxing is to hit and not get hit. You know, whether I'm moving around the ring or whether I'm standing right in front of you, it's to hit and not get hit. So um, I definitely want to run that back with Fundora too. I gotta get past Ramos first. I'm focused on Ramos. I've been focused on Ramos. I've asked for this fight. I asked for this fight before he even fought Joey Spencer. So I'm just glad I could stay active and get the fights that I want. And on top of that, it's a big fight. And this whole year it's all been boxing has been about big fights. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
Did you come away from that fight though, seeing something when you review the film, review the fight, and say, aha, this is what needs to be worked on or adjusted to get me to that next and final level? And what
Um,
was it, if that's the case?
for sure, just sticking to the game plan, listen to my trainers, and staying composed. There's a lot of things that was going on before I even fought Fundora. And that was also part of it. Being outside the ring, not letting things interfere with my boxing. That's I feel like that's most important is not letting things interfere with my boxing and keeping a good mindset. Because a lot of fighters they'll be going through mental health issues and stuff like that, and would pull out of fights and not fight. But with a lot of bad things happening, and you know, I just felt like boxing's my happy place. So I wanted to fight. I was like, I gotta fight. Like fuck that, you know. But I don't let anything get in the way of this. I learned, and I had to learn the hard way. So I come back better every time. After I lost to Charlo, I made the changes I needed to. I went on a 6-fight win streak, and losing to Fundora was just it's a loss that I felt like, I was right there. I was just right there. I felt like winning that fight, I would have been WBC interim champion, and that would have lined me up for real big fights, bigger fights than even the one I have now against Ramos. But taking that hiccup, it must have been it must have been something. I had to definitely take a step back and mature a little bit more and do things the right way, and come back even stronger. That's the plan on September 30th. Is to come back strong. Beating Luis Arias was, it was just to get my feet wet, just to get back in the ring. I take every fight like a big fight, but after winning and letting it settle, it was like I got to do more. I got to do more, man. That wasn't as big as I thought. So beating Ramos will be big for me. It's a day before my birthday too, so definitely gotta,
28,
don't
right?
want to sit. Yeah, yeah, 28. Don't want to sit in my room and be sad. So definitely gotta come out blazing.
Well, you just talking about how you've had to learn some things in this professional boxing stuff the hard way, and you were undefeated prospect of the year, and then and that. So how gratifying would it be to finally get to the title or the titles in the division, having to go through everything you've had to go through this way? You probably thought I was going to get to it sooner, right out the gate. And so, but would it actually, be more very gratifying having to get it the way you've had to wind up getting it?
Yeah, for sure. Getting it the hard way, man. It's been like this my whole career. If you go check my box rec, man. I fought in winning records my whole career. I never fought a guy with a losing record, and that's just the way I wanted it. I told my handlers from the beginning. I said, you know, get me to the title, get me to the title fast, and I don't want to fight no guys with losing records. So getting it the hard way is how it's always been, even as a kid.
With
And
Ace. Oh, go ahead, Eric.
I ain't grow up, spoon fed. So I definitely I definitely it'll definitely be gratifying to get it like this.
Jesus Ramos, he seems like one of these fighters that his timing beats speed. He makes up for a speed gap. But is this a big advantage for you, your speed over Jesus Ramos?
For sure. For
And
sure.
if he
I
is
feel
one
like,
of those timing beat speed guys, how do you, still do what do what you got to do?
oh, you asking for the game plan.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I understand. Okay. But
um, I feel like I have the advantage with a few things, like of course my speed and my power and my experience. He's a good puncher. He's a good puncher himself. But I feel like my experience and everything like that will definitely be an advantage.
will you show him that he doesn't know what he doesn't know, kind of thing with the experience?
Of course, at 22 years old, I felt the same way. I was about to fight Charlo. I felt the same way, man. I felt unstoppable. Being there, and I'm sure he feels real high on himself. But I just feel like he never fought anybody like myself. I don't feel like he's ever fought Erickson Lubin. There's nobody on his record or his resume that you know that's like myself. I feel like I'll do the same things if I had those type of opponents in front of me. I'll probably do them even dirtier. So you know, he's coming to fight though. He's
Mm-hmm.
definitely coming to fight. There's nobody I'm sleeping on. I'm excited for this matchup. I'm excited Southpaw versus Southpaw matchup. Um, he's a volume fighter. It'll be a firefight for sure.
Mm.
But I feel like skills pay the bills, and that's what I'm gonna show on fight night.
Fair enough, man. Do gotta ask who do you see winning the main event? Charlo Canelo.
um, I ain't putting it past Charlo. I'm not sleeping on Charlo. I feel like Charlo has a serious shot in the main event, but I just can't bet against Canelo right now. After what I've been seeing from him, with his last few performances, he ain't been really you know, looking like his best self.
Mm-hmm.
But watching the all access and watching him in training and watching the way he talks, he sounds like he's back to his old self. So we'll see what happens.
What does Jermell have to do to pull off, an upset? What do you think are some of the things he's going to have to do to be successful?
I mean, people really sleep on Jermell's IQ. I feel like people sleep on his IQ, and he just has to be on his A game all night, which he always is. He's fighting all 12 rounds, so I give him a chance because of that and his IQ. So he just has to pull that all together, and I feel like he has a pretty good shot.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, Erickson. Appreciate it, man. Looking forward to that fight like all boxing fans are. You against Jesus Ramos from T-Mobile. If there's anything else you got to say, bro, please. But thank you.
Just tune in. Hammer Time on Showtime. It's gonna be a big event, and you know, we ready to make a statement on Saturday, September 30th.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.